So, how did everyone's trading go today? I had an amazing day, and if you guys are following it on Discord, I was kind of going into today unsure if I was going to be able to make my goal because I was traveling all day. But apparently, travel days are great days. And I posted my results in the Discord channel. So those of you who are there, or I posted my last 7 days in the Facebook room. So it was a really good day, and I hope you guys had a good day too. Hopefully, the trades I posted in Discord were helpful to you. So let's start by going to our goal sheet. And I know for those of you that have been here the past 2-3 days, you've already seen this. You're probably tired of it by now. But again, I want to get this on the recording. And I have a little something for you guys. For those of you that are bummed that you don't have the capital to work with, that you're watching me work with, I have a surprise for you. My husband, who has been watching me trade, he decided to jump in and start trying to do it. And so he opened an account with $1,000, and he's been doing it for the last 2 days. So I started a log for him. So not only could you see my results, but you can see what he's been doing last couple days. And his trading style, much different than mine. So here's mine. No, that's his. Hold on. Here's mine. I'm going to go to today's results. I posted these in Discord, so some of you have already seen this. I did $4,700 today. But the important part, right? I keep telling you guys, percentage. Think in terms of percentage. 8% today. That's a record for me. That's huge. It's awesome, and it makes up for today when I was doing more playing at the hotel on the beach than I was trading yesterday. So it makes up for that. So I'm super excited about that. So think in terms of percentages, and don't be discouraged. And this is why I want to show you my husband's goal calculator here. You remember how I showed you this with just a blank one, just $1,000, and what that could turn into after a year, even if you only had a 1% goal? After a year, and by the way, for those of you that are not familiar with Excel, do you see how it skips here from 12 to 256? I'm hiding some of these rows because I don't want to have to keep scrolling down. That way we can see the bottom result without having to scroll. But there are a lot of days there in between there that you can't see. But the point is, if you started with $1,000, you made a 1% return every day that you traded. And this does not include weekends. You can see this is not a full year. This is not 365 days because I took the weekends out. At the end of 1 year, if you didn't add anything and you didn't take anything away, making 1%, you'd have $12,000. That's an extra $1,000 a month. And then, of course, we did this exercise where, let's say you kept it in there another year. $164,000. That's over $80,000 a year from $1,000 that you traded at 1%. So don't be discouraged. And I showed you when it was $1,000, your first day is only $10. That is completely feasible. And I'm going to show you with my husband how feasible that is. And I told you he has a very different trading style than me. I asked him, I said, okay, so now that you're trading, are you going to get up with me? I get up at 4. No. You know I don't get up early. Okay. I said, you might want to lower your goal, because he originally said he wanted to do 5% too. I'm like, to make 5% a day, you got to be up when London's open. He lowered his goal. So if you're one of those people that does not want to be up early, you can still do this, because he does. And look, first day, he got his $20. He lowered his goal to 2%. So his goal for day one was $20, and he did it. He got just over his goal, $20.44, with his $1,000 of capital. Day 2, which was today, which was a great day. He didn't get up early. He didn't do any of the stuff I did. And this is kind of a hurting my ego right now because I got up at 4 and I was trading all day long. He does nothing. He only has one pair in here. You see this? All he did was sell it when we're at the airport about to take off. He sells it and he makes 10%. I'm like, are you kidding me? I was up at 4 o'clock trading all these different pairs. I didn't even make that much. So I was super proud of him though. So that was awesome. So day 2, he far exceeded his 2% goal. And if anyone was in that Euro Aussie short, I mean, we've been trading that one now for what, 2 or 3 days. A lot of you have been in that. So hopefully you guys made some money on that too. I think we started that one on Friday, maybe. I can't even remember the day we started trading that, but it's one that we have had on our radar for a few days. So that one did really well for him today. So I wanted to show this to you because I didn't want you to be discouraged by the fact that maybe you don't have as much capital, or by the fact that maybe you don't like to get up early and you think that that's going to really hinder you. You can do this. Even if you just set trades before you go to bed, even if you only have $1,000 or even maybe 500 or 200, you can do this. Think in terms of percentages. Compound interest is your friend. So 2% interest, look what's going to happen after year 1. If he doesn't add anything and doesn't take anything away, 1 year, $189,000. If he can consistently make 2%, 1 year from $1,000. So please, please, please don't be discouraged if you don't have the capital. In the Forex market, it is feasible, very, very feasible to make 1 or 2%, even if you just set your trades up at night and go to bed and don't look at them until the next day. Set your targets, go to work, do what you need to do, come look at them again when you come home from work. Very feasible to do this. So I wanted to show this right off the bat so that you guys could be encouraged and not discouraged if you don't have a lot of capital. And by the way, on that topic, I've said this before, but I want to make sure and point out here, I'm not Miss Moneybags here, that I just have $50,000 sitting around to play with. The reason why we have this money right now is we just sold our house. And strategically, when we sold our house, while we're building a new house, we sold it early so that we could have some time between the two house, selling and buying. And we negotiated 3 months of free rent from the new owners of our house. So we're living in our own house, or used to be our house, rent free for 3 months. So I have some time to play with this money. And that is why I'm able to do this right now. It's not because I'm filthy, stinking rich. I'm not. But my goal is, before our house is built, to be able to pay for that house in cash. That's my why. That's my motivation. So I'm trying to not only do that, but have enough to pay for the taxes, because as we know, Uncle Sam's going to take his cut. So that's my why right now. And so that's why I have this money sitting here, and I'm able to play with it. But I know this is probably discouraging sometimes to look at, because a lot of people don't have that. So I'm showing you this so you can stay motivated. It's going to be okay. Don't be discouraged. All right, and by the way, this is on Discord, this spreadsheet, if you want it. I'm going to show you where. In Discord, you'll notice on the left, there's all these channels. There is a channel called Resources, and I post any resources that I talk about, I'll post them in here. Here, you'll see at the bottom, there is a Google Doc called Goal Calculator. That's that spreadsheet I just showed you. So if you pull that up, you'll be able to enter your capital, which is, when I say capital, I don't know that everyone knows what I mean by that. Whatever money you're using and putting into your Forex account or stocks or whatever you do, that's what you're entering there. Then your interest, and do it in terms of decimals, by the way. Otherwise, if you just put 2 there, it'll mess it up. You have to actually put a period 02 there. So put your goal, put your capital there, and just scroll down to see, okay, if I don't do anything else, what would I have at the end of the year? This will help you. This will motivate you. So I have that there. I also have links on Discord, the Discord link in case you want to invite anyone else, as well as our Facebook page, which is here if anybody wants to like it. What? I'm not even on it right now. Hold on. Should have had that already set up. Right here. This is my Facebook page, and I post there any links to webinars. There's the link to Discord on there. So if you ever want to invite anyone, somebody asked me today if it was okay for them to invite someone. Invite all you want. This is completely free and completely open. Like, there is no reason for me to not share. So, and by the way, the more people that are doing what we're doing, the more people that are buying the pairs we're buying and going the same direction, the more price is going to move our direction. So we want that. We want that to happen. So it helps us. It gives us momentum. So there's no reason not to invite people and share this information. It's completely okay. So I just wanted to put that out there. Feel free to share all you want. All right, let's get into Oanda and start looking at some charts. I know there's some people here tonight that have zero experience. So a lot of this is going to go completely over your head, and this is all going to be new stuff. So just bear with me, absorb as much as you can. I'll try to explain as much as I can without taking up too much time so that it's not completely overwhelming. So what we're looking at here is a candle chart. It's called a candle chart. The body of each of these bars is called the candle. And all of these lines, these black lines, are called wicks. Each of these represents a period of time. This particular chart is a 12-month chart, and you can see that up here and up here in the top left corner. It's a 12-month chart. So it starts all the way back here. This candle right here is 2004, all the way up to the current year, 2018. So what this represents is price action. It's showing you at the very bottom of that wick how far down price went that year. So each of these is the lowest price of that year. The top of each candle is the highest price of that year. The body represents where price opened and where price closed. So just because it happened to go up this far doesn't mean it closed there. And since this is a red candle, that means it went down. So it closed right here at the bottom. If it's a blue candle, that means it went up and it closed here at the top. So that's a little bit of an explanation, but there are all kinds of YouTube videos about candle charts if you want to go in and get a little bit more familiar with that. So the first thing I do with every pair, and when I say pair, I'm talking currency pairs. We trade in pairs. So it's not just trading one currency, you're actually trading one against another. Right now I'm in the Aussie CAD. So that's Australia and Canada. So I'm in an Aussie CAD 12-month candle chart. I'm going to start creating some boxes to represent what I call ceilings and floors. I want you to think of each of these candles kind of like a skyscraper. I'm going to continue using this analogy, and I've gotten good feedback from it. A lot of people say it's helpful to think of it that way. It's really easy to remember it, and I try to use concepts that make things less complicated. So I'm starting from the top here, and I'm looking for odd numbered wicks. Those are our ceilings and floors. So right here, at this highest point, there's a candle or a wick that stands up all by itself. That is going to be our very first ceiling. All my ceilings I border in red, and all of my 12-month ceilings and floors I put in red. So both of these are going to be red for this. Now, here I have 2 wicks. Do you see that? I am not interested in 2 wicks. Right here, a ceiling was created, but there it was jackhammered through. That wick right there. So I'm not interested in that. I'm going to ignore it and leave it white. It's no longer a valid ceiling. Next, we're going to go, oh, my husband tells me that I don't have the right screen up. Am I not sharing my screen? You have the charts still on. You're just moving around. What? Okay, hold on one second. Technical difficulty here. Am I sharing the wrong screen? Sorry. See? Can you guys see this screen? I guess I should have asked that question from the beginning. Okay, that's the right screen now, right? Now let me see. Can you see this chart, everybody? Okay, hold on. Me and technology are not friends. Hold on. I will get this. Do you see it now? Okay. All right. Let me back up. Sorry about that, guys. Thanks to my husband. He came and saved the day. All right. Here is the candle chart. So this candle chart, which no one has seen apparently until this point. Sorry about that, guys. Each of these candles represents a time frame. In this case, 12 months. So the top of each of these wicks, these brown bars, is the highest price of that year. So this goes back to 2004, like I said, all the way up to the current year. The top of these wicks is the highest price. The bottom of the wicks is the lowest price. The body, if it's a blue candle, it closed up here. If it's a red candle, it closed down here. So that is what that is telling us. We are trying to build what I call ceilings and floors, as I said, and I'm looking for odd numbered wicks. So here I have a ceiling. Again, I do all of my 12-month ceiling and floors in red, and if it's a ceiling, I'm bordering it in red. Right underneath there, I have 2 wicks. I don't care about that area. It's not valid. By the way, did you guys see the spreadsheet even? Did anyone see that? Let me pull up my chat so I can actually see. This is one thing I don't like about Zoom, by the way. I can't see what you guys say unless I actually like pull it up. Here, let me see if I can figure this out. Okay, so that's one problem. You guys are telling me all over the place that you only see Discord. All right, I actually have my chat up now, so I'll pay attention now. Okay, so you guys did see the spreadsheet and you saw Discord. So the only thing you didn't see so far then is the Oanda charts, correct? Okay, good. All right, I'm sorry about that. And that's a bummer because this is actually recording. All right, the whole world will know how absolutely inept I am at technology. There's no question about that. Like, I can do trading, but when it comes to technology, forget it. All right, we're working our way down, right? I started here at the top. There's 1 wick there. You see that 1 wick, how it's in that ceiling, what I call ceiling? Here we have 3 wicks. It's an odd number. So the ceiling was created, then it was jackhammered through, and then it was created again. Here's another wall. We're looking to the right. There, a ceiling was created again. However, it's very, very, very small because this wick almost jackhammers through the whole thing. But we can take this one down a little bit further to cover that area. Whoops, I realized I have another box going here. So I'm going to carry that all the way down to the top of that wick. Right here we have 1, 2, 3, so I can start a new ceiling. Because that's a count of 3. Right here we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Not interested in that. The ceiling was created. It was jackhammered through. It was created, jackhammered through. Don't need that. Then we have this little one that creates a wick of 5. So that is a valid ceiling. So I'm going to put a new ceiling right there. Now current price is on this candle here, and it's a red candle, which means it's going down. So where that red line is, that's where current price is right now. So now we've got only a 2 count all the way down to current price. Now that we're crossing the current price, we're going to switch to doing floors, and we're going to be looking on the downside. We've got all of our ceilings done. Now we're doing floors. So I'm looking still for the 1 counts. Now I mentioned last night with the current candle, whatever direction it's going in, I'm not going to draw a zone there, because what's going to happen if I draw this zone right here? What is price doing? It's going down. So it's going to just keep moving this zone and, compressing it. And there's no point in me drawing that, because I'm just going to constantly have to move it. Now, if it was up here and price is going down, I do usually go ahead and draw that. But for this particular one, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to go down here where there's that 3 count, because there's enough room there where it'll take price a while to get there. All right, then down here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, and I forgot to do this. Whenever it's a floor, I border it in green. And that just helps me, especially when we go into lower time frames. It helps me distinguish a floor from a ceiling if there's maybe 2 very close together or overlapping, which does happen sometimes. All right, let me look at questions. I'm going to try to pay more attention here. Josie says, we never saw your husband's sheet. Okay, so you guys didn't get to see the spreadsheet of my husband's goals. I'll go back to that later. After we do the chart, remind me. I'll show you guys that, because I do want you to see that. Evan said, the 1 count wick on top of the red candle. Why didn't you bring your box down there too? Okay, let me see if I know what you're saying. The 1 count wick on top of the red candle. Which one do you mean? Are you talking about this red candle? The third from the right, this one. Is that the right one? Okay. So the 1 count. Well, do you see how at the top of that, there's this right here to the left? So it's 2. Is that what you mean in that area right there? Okay. So the reason why I didn't include that was because of this right here. That's actually 2 wicks. Does that make sense? So I'm not interested in 2. And then right here we have 4. You can see the very tips of those. There's 4, and that's why those weren't included. So yeah, you always want to look all the way to the next wall. I call these walls, going to our construction analogy. So since that the wall is all the way over here, you got to include that. All right, so going to floors. I've got 2 floors so far. We're going to continue our way down. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't care about that. The floor was created. It was jackhammered through. The floor was created, and then it was jackhammered through. I don't care about that. Right there, that is a floor. It's got 3. I did not include this little tip right there because that's 2. So there's a little tiny area there that's not in a floor, but it's tiny. Probably is irrelevant enough I could just carry it down, but we'll be completely accurate here. Here I have a little bit of a floor that's a 3 count, and I actually can carry that down further because there's 2 more added right there. So you have 5 and then 3. Down here you have 4. I don't care about that. Floor was created, it was jackhammered through, it was created, jackhammered through. I don't care about that. It's not a floor. Here's a 3 count. That's still a valid floor. And then last but not least, we have this big giant floor right here. All right, these are 12-month zones. These are strong. I've been discussing the last couple of nights about how the higher the time frame, the stronger the floor. These are 12-month zones. Very, very strong. Floor or ceiling, not just floor. I'm going to now go down to my next time frame, which is going to be the 1 month time frame. That means that every one of these candles is 1 month of price action. We're going to do the same thing, except I'm not going to go all the way up through in the entire chart. I'm just going to look for in between the closest higher time frame floor and ceiling. So I'm not going to go above this. I'm not going to go below this. If it happens to get above that, then we'll draw it. Before then, I'm not going to worry about it. So there's a little bit of a 1 right here, which I'm not going to worry about again. I just did exactly the opposite of what I said. I don't need to worry about that area. All right, so here's a 3 count. Because this is a ceiling, I'm going to make it red. Because it's a monthly, my monthly color is blue. So there is our first ceiling on the monthly chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, don't care about that. Not a valid ceiling. Here's a count of 3, that's a valid ceiling. It's an odd number. Then we have 4, because here's the wall. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not a valid ceiling. We're going to go down a little further. Right there, 1, 2, 3, that's a valid ceiling. Continuing on, we get the top of this wick. And when these get close together, they get kind of hard to draw. Here we have 2. Don't care about that. Price already jackhammered through that. It's not a valid floor or ceiling anymore. Here we have a nice big monthly zone. And then last but not least, right there, and we're at current price. Again, I'm not going to worry about doing this area here because price is moving up and you just have to constantly keep moving it. So I'm not even going to bother drawing that. All right, here, let's count this little area here. We have 1, 2, oh, we got to go all the way back here. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we don't even have to worry about that. We only have up down to the bottom of that candle. Then we have 6, so we don't care about that. That's even number, so it's not a valid floor. And since that's a floor, I'm going to change the border to green. All right, then underneath that, let's see here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we have a 3 count, so that's still a valid floor. One, two, three, 4 under that, don't care about it. Now, it looks like we have a little bit of a zone here. It's very tiny, probably not even worth drawing, but I'll go ahead and draw it. And then last but not least, I'll go ahead and draw this one since it's so close to that other zone, other floor. All right, there is all of our monthly ceiling and floors. For those of you that have been following me, you know monthly is like the cornerstone of my strategy. Monthly floors and ceilings are really important to me. I don't trade anywhere else, at least usually. So occasionally I do, but normally this is my bread and butter right here. These are important ceilings and floors to me. I'm using the analogy since I'm kind of going with this construction theme. Monthly ceilings and floors are like steel, and it's very difficult to get through steel. You basically have to have something that's very, very extremely high temperatures. Blowtorch, dynamite, I don't even know what it takes. Very difficult to get through these places. Weekly, which is our next time down, and I'll go ahead and go to a weekly chart. These are also very strong, but not quite as strong as the monthly. Those are probably like a rebar enforced concrete wall. Still very difficult to get through, but not as difficult as the steel. So where my bread and butter is where those meet. So let's look where those meet. I am going to go 2 zones up this time because this one is so small. I'm going to go ahead and cover this one too. So starting from the top of this area, let's start drawing weekly zones. I'm going to change the border to be red because this is a ceiling. And for weekly, I always use brown. So there's a weekly ceiling within a monthly ceiling. That means you have rebar enforced concrete inside of steel wall. Price is not going to get through that, absent some major nuclear war or something crazy, because even Trump's stupid tweets do not get price through this. So it would take some major momentum to get through that. And that's why that's my bread and butter right there. That is a place where I know price is going to stop and turn. Right here we have another one. There's a big 1 count right there. I didn't do that one because you see that's 4. That has already been jackhammered through. It's no longer a ceiling. Here's another valid zone. 1, 2, 3. That's still a valid zone. Right there we have 2, so I did not put anything there. The ceiling was created, jackhammered through. No longer good. I'm again not going to bother putting anything right there where current price is running because I'm just going to constantly have to move it. So I'm going to ignore that area. Here we have 2. So a floor was created because now we've crossed over current price. A floor was created and then it was jackhammered through. I don't care about that area. Not a valid floor anymore. So we're going to continue on and we got to go all the way to this wall and count from there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, not valid. Created, destroyed, created, destroyed, created, destroyed. Don't care about that area. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A very tiny floor was created right there. And then we can go all the way down to this little area here. And this is going to be a small one because we have to take into account that new wick that was created at the bottom of this blue candle. So there's 2 there. Then we have a little bit of a tip there. And I think I forgot to change. Yeah, I did. I always change these to green when they're floors. All right, continuing on here. And this looks like it goes for a while here. We got to go all the way to this wall. Do you guys see how there's no wall here for a while? We have to go all the way to this blue candle over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't care about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Don't care about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There is an area between those 2 monthly floors that is a weekly floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. So now look at how strong this area is. You have a 12-month floor, which has a monthly floor, actually 2 monthly floors, and a weekly floor inside of it. Do you see how price has tried to get through this numerous times and has not been able to break through? This one broke through slightly, but this thing has come 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times and has not been able to get through that area. Very, very strong zone. 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't care about the 4. And I may be missing some here and there because I know all these wicks are uneven here, but I'm not going to sweat it. We already know that's a very strong zone. The last one that I do until I'm actually in the trade is the daily. And once again, I'm not going to go all the way up. I'm just going to look for the nearest ceiling and floor and do them in between that area. Which this one is kind of wicky. We don't really like wicky. You like big, strong moves. You like those pairs that do this a lot, right? You want to see those big, strong moves that go a long time. All right, let's look and see here. We have, I think, a 3 count right there. And my daily color is orange. So if you ever see orange on my charts, that's a daily zone. I always use the same colors. They're always the same. I don't ever change them because I will confuse myself if I change them. So I do not change them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have one there. And now we're at current price. So now we're doing floors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have a 3 count down here. And once again, I forgot to change the border, which, you know, if you guys don't see any merit in that, don't worry about it. Don't stress if you don't have your borders correctly. I just do that because sometimes these get really close, and if you're in a lower time frame, you really can't tell if it's a floor or ceiling. All right, so by the time I'm done, and this takes forever the first time you do it. In fact, my husband started doing this. I told you he started trading a couple days ago, and he started drawing these, and he lasted, I think, maybe through 2 before he was done. He did not have the patience. So this does take forever the first time you do it. You saw how long it took me to do one pair, and look at all these pairs, right? It takes a while. But once you have all that in there, monthly zones, you only have to update once a month, weekly once a week, daily once a day. And really, you probably could get away with not even drawing your daily zones until you're actually in the trade, honestly. I do go ahead and draw them, but I don't really update them every day because it would take forever. So I just wait till I'm in the trade and then I update them. So honestly, you probably didn't even have to draw them. All right, the next thing I do once I have all of these drawn is I find, for me, my bread and butter is where I see a monthly and a weekly zone or ceiling and floor that have overlapped. That's my playing field. Now, I want to make sure and point out, if you make that your playing field, your ceilings and floors are going to be huge. Now this one's not. This one's actually a pretty small one, but look at this one. That is a huge playing field. And I set my entries right there at the beginning of those monthly zones, which means price could go all the way down here, as you see it did right here. That's a long way to go down before it turns around. There's a couple of things that you can do to alter this to make it less anxiety for you if you don't have my risk tolerance. I have extremely high risk tolerance. I'm also extremely impatient. I don't enjoy sitting here watching candles form. Sometimes I do. If I happen to be at the computer, I will try to wait for the most opportune time to get in. But most of the time, if I know there's a strong wall or ceiling there, I just go ahead and jump in and I don't worry about it. As you guys know, even in the last couple of days on that Aussie Euro trade, there was a point where I was down about $3,500. So it took some heat before it turned around. But I'll pull up my sheet again so we can look at that. And I'm going to sort this by pair so we can just see that. See all of those. All right, so look at this. At one point I was down $3,500, but just today alone, I made $1,300 off that pair. And we've been trading that sucker for I don't know how many days now. So I made a lot of money off that pair. But had I been a person that couldn't handle that heat, I would have gotten out of that a long time ago. You see here on the day before yesterday, or no, this was yesterday, I made another $400 off that. So if I had not had the ability to take my emotions out of it and sit through that heat, I would not have made that money. So I just want you guys to be aware, if you're doing things the way I'm doing them, which I'm not advising you, I keep saying that. This is not advice. I'm just showing you what I do, and you take this and play around with it. Mold this to your risk tolerance, to your account size. There's a million ways you can adjust this to match your personality and the way you like to trade. There's a lot of ways to make money in this market. I'm just showing you what I do to give you some ideas. So some ways that you can make this less risky is you can actually wait when price enters this zone, this floor, wait until it actually turns around and then jump in. So that's one thing you can do. But be aware, sometimes it fakes you out. Sometimes it looks like it's turning around, and it may even turn around for a while and then come back down again. So just know, even that is not necessarily going to keep you from that heat. Another thing you can do is take this same strategy, but lower the time frames, because monthly zones, 12-month zones, even weekly zones can be really, really big sometimes. Let me see if I can find a good example of how you could lower this to a lesser time frame. Let's look at this one, for example. I know this is messy, so if this is chaotic. Don't let this give you anxiety if you're new to this and you're looking at this like, oh my gosh, I don't know what's going on there. I know you don't know what's going on here. It's okay. These little zones here are smaller time frames. The pink zones are 3 hours. The turquoise is 30 minutes. So because I'm in this trade, I'm drawing smaller time frames. And that's why those are there. But I just want to show you this zone right here. This is a weekly zone that has a daily zone that has a 3-hour zone in it. That's a strong area right there. Price is going to have a lot of difficulty getting through that. It's not as strong as a monthly or a 12-month, but that's still a rebar enforced concrete wall with a daily, let's say that's like a double studded wall with a 3-hour, which is like drywall maybe, or a hardwood floor, whatever. So you've got all three of those overlapping right there. That's a strong area. And you could take a zone like that, take a ceiling right there, and it's not going to be as huge as those monthly areas. Monthly areas get really big. So if you didn't want to have your stop loss so far away from your entry, you could find areas of overlap that are in smaller time frames and have less risk there. So that's one way you could adjust the strategy to make it fit you if you don't want to have to deal with all of that heat. So I just wanted to put that little tip in there. All right, let me see what you guys are saying over here before I get too far into this. How did you get the 12-month chart up? Okay, so Oanda, if you're using Oanda, that's what I'm using right now. If you click on the chart, which right now I only have one chart up, and then you type in 12M, M stands for month. You can also do 1 month if you just want a monthly chart. But if you want 12 months, just type in 12M, and that'll give you a monthly chart. And you'll have to go over here and condense this, because a 12-month chart, that's a lot of price action. So you have to like squish it down so you can actually see everything. If you want weekly, 1W. And you can see it got all condensed, so then you have to get it back up there again. If you want 1 day, 1D. That's how I do it anyway. There may be a better way. When it comes to technology, again, not the person to talk to here. We got better, more qualified people in Discord to ask technical questions. But that's how I do it. So, all right, what else do we have? Your Euro Aussie trade is making bank now. The news pushed it. Look at your Euro Aussie trade. Okay, I'm scared now because Euro Aussie got down to a pretty solid floor, and I'm pretty sure I went long. So I'm scared to look, but let's see. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, nice. Okay, it went my direction. That's awesome. So here you can see this whole time, right? I've been making money on this trade. I just showed you guys because it was coming from this area. Look at all of those ceilings. That was a highly, highly reinforced area that went for a really long time. Look how, price kept trying to break through that and it wasn't getting anywhere. So it came all the way back down here, almost, actually it did get into this other very highly enforced area, which is a floor. So what did I do? I started going long. That's what all these orders are down here. They're longs. And by long, I know for all you newbies out there, when I say long, it means you're buying and you're wanting it to go up. If you're going short, which is what these orders are here, it means you're selling and you want it to go down. Shorting is a weird concept not a lot of people are familiar with unless you are in the trading world or you've been doing it for a while. If you're shorting, that means you're selling it first and buying it later, and you want to buy it at a cheaper price, obviously. So it's like borrowing your neighbor's lawnmower, and then while you have that lawnmower, another neighbor comes over and says, "Hey, I'll give you $200 for that." And you're like, "Well, shoot, I can buy it cheaper than that. Sure, you can have it." You sell it to the other neighbor for $200, and then you go to the store, find it on sale for $150. So you made a $50 profit. That's shorting. You're borrowing something you don't have from your broker. That's who you're borrowing it from. And then you're selling it because you're hoping that, you're selling it and then you're hoping it goes down so you can buy it cheaper. If you're buying it, then you do the buying first and you're hoping it goes up so you can sell it at a higher price. So when it was here, I wrote it all the way down from this area. And I hope some of you guys got to take advantage of this because we've been talking about this trade for a couple days now. We made a lot of money on the way down. But then it came into this area, which I saw, even though there was no monthly zone there, and usually I only operate where there's a monthly floor or ceiling. But look at this. I was like, price is not getting through all of that. Look at that. There are so many floors there, and I would not hesitate to put a stop loss all the way down here. I'll sit through all that because I know it is not going to get through all of that without major trouble. And look, it only got down to this area right here before it shot back up. So when it got down here, I went long, which means I bought. And I had other buy orders sitting here in case it went deeper. Now, this is breaking the prevalent theology of trading. Most traders, experienced traders, and instructors will tell you, never, ever, ever, ever put money in a losing trade. I do it constantly. In fact, you will see the further it goes down, the more I'm increasing my position size. So I'm doing absolutely the opposite of what the prevalent idea is out there. So I just want you guys to know that. But you don't have to do that. Again, here's an area where you can adjust it to say, I'm not going to put money into this until I actually see it go my direction. And that's how most people do it. They wait for it to go the right way, and then they pour money into it. I do the exact opposite. If it's going my way, I don't put money into it until I see it pull back down. If I'm going long and I want it to go up, I'm not putting a dime into it until I see it come back down. So that's the way I operate. I know that is very, very counter prevalent thinking. So I'm just going to point that out. I know. Trust me. Don't send me nasty emails. I've gotten them. I don't care. Don't do it. You don't like it? Don't do it. I'm fine. It's not a sacred cow. So right now this is doing great, right? See where it's hitting though? It's hitting this. Let me get to lower time frame so we can see this. I'm going down to a 3-hour chart now. See where it says 180? That's 180 minutes, which is 3 hours. Look at that. Do you see where I predicted that price would go to? And look how I just missed it by, look at that. Dang it. Shoot. So if I had just brought that just a little bit, just a hair lower, I would have banked right there because I would have been I would have cashed in 100,000 units right there. But that's okay. It will come back. Um, but that would have been sweet if I just had that a little bit lower. But look how predictable price is. It really is. Unless Trump gets on Twitter or something weird happens, price is so predictable. You can draw out where it's going to turn. And I mean, look at that. Look how close that was. So that right there is a 3-hour ceiling, and it almost got there. Now blasted through this one, and you see I predicted that it probably would, right? I didn't even mess with that one. I waited for this one because I knew, right? Actually, I may have. Did I put a screenshot of this. I may have actually put one there because I see that it's 200,000. So I may have had 100,000 sitting there. I don't remember. But I wouldn't surprise me if I had skipped this because it's a small zone. It's not surprising to me that it blasted through that. It's tiny. It could have reacted off of it, but if it had any momentum at all, yeah, doesn't surprise me. So price is very predictable in the way it moves. You really, 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 with a high level of accuracy, can predict exactly what price is going to do. So awesome. I'm up almost $500. Unfortunately, you can see it's coming back down. So that really kills me that I missed that opportunity right there by just and obviously if I had been watching this, I would have seen that the momentum was starting to change and I would have gotten out of that. But all right, let me see here what's going on. Can you explain the entry mechanics and how you use the colored boxes to determine where to get in and get out, when to short and when to buy? You explained it all. Okay, so you get where my mind goes when I'm looking at these. I'm basically, okay. I'm actually starting to question this now because of what happened with my husband. Let me show you his spreadsheet since you guys didn't get to see it earlier. Okay, you see what I was doing. I'm constantly in and out, right? When it comes down here, right, I'm getting out of the position. I'm constantly in and out of my positions every time I'm seeing price move. My husband didn't do any of that. He didn't even get out of bed. Is this his? Almost 10%. I'm like, why am I doing all this? Seriously, I am really starting to question. Like, I am no expert. I am totally willing to adjust my ways here. So I really am questioning, okay, would it have been better if I had just jumped in the Euro Aussie, going short, and just left it alone? Just like my husband did. Get some extra sleep. Wait till it comes down here. My husband's laughing in the other room. Yeah, I'm actually saying you might be right. I know it's a miracle. So I don't know. I'm actually starting to question whether my method is actually the best way to do it. And maybe in some cases it is, in some cases it isn't. But this is the way I think. Whenever price comes down, I'm getting out of my shorts, or at least mostly out. When it pulls back, I'm getting back in. So I'm just constantly doing that all the time. And you can see, ooh, look at that. It just rallied. It's going right back almost up to that. So it might actually hit that. I'm going to move it down just a smidgen, just in case. I do not want to miss that. And I actually will just, if I start seeing momentum change, I'm just going to sell that 100,000 and take my profit. I'm all about taking the cash. And that's part of it too with me. I want to see progress. Now you can see here on a lower time frame, this is a 30-second chart. You see how it's 30s? That's seconds. Whenever I'm waiting for the perfect entry or the perfect profit target, like the area to get out, this is what chart I'm on. If I'm watching it and waiting with right now, watching to see what price is going to do. When you start seeing these wicks form at the top, that means pressure's coming from the upside. That means price wants to start coming down. And you can see right there, after it had that long wick up on top, it started coming down, right? And it's starting to form a little bit of those wicks. And you can see red candles forming there. It wants to come down here. But it still is right now in an uptrend, So it's kind of a battle at the moment. That's why it's basing. That's why you see it kind of just going sideways at the moment. The battle between the buyers and sellers is going on, and you don't know who's going to win out right now. But if you start seeing those long wicks form, that is your first clue that price is about to go down. And the vice versa, right? Like right here, you see this long wick at the bottom. That's telling you price is getting a lot of pressure, upward pressure. Price wants to go up. So that's a really good indication to tell you where price is moving. So I'm going to go ahead and trigger this because, again, I don't like sitting here watching candles form. It's super boring. All right, so what just happened there? What just happened is I moved that sell order to get out of 100,000 units. So I just cashed in. Let me look at my phone because that's what I use to see. It's super easy on the app to see exactly how much. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see this. Probably not. It's too fuzzy, I think. But I just made $228 right there. Now price is going to start coming down unless it's got some momentum, which it might. Somebody said something about news. So there might be some news going on that might make it actually jackhammer through that, but you can see it's having trouble. If I saw that it was just still going with strong momentum, I wouldn't have done that. But I saw it was basing, it was having trouble. It was struggling. So this is going to come back down. So what I do at this point, put a buy order in. Be ready for when price comes down again. And I put it right at the beginning of that weekly floor. Price is going to come back down. It might rally up a little bit into this ceiling, but given that it doesn't seem to have much momentum anymore, I don't think it's going to bust through that. I think it's going to come down. And by the way, this is not even a valid zone anymore because it's already jackhammered through that. So there is nothing stopping this unless you go to a lower time frame. Let's say we went to a 30-minute, and I got oh, that's 30 month. Hello. Just 30 if you want minutes. You could maybe find a 30-minute zone here, but yeah, whoever said news, yeah, that looks like a news move right there. Because look how fast it shot up. It created no floors on the way up, which is beautiful for coming back down. And because that looks so beautiful, I'm going to go ahead and jump in short right here because there is no floors right there on the way down. Look at that. I mean, that's what you want to see right there. Just nothing but air. And it may go, like I said, it may go up a little bit more. I don't care. I'll take the heat because I know there is nothing to support price right there. Nothing. That has no support. Zilch. Doesn't even have a 30-minute floor. I mean, 30-minute floor, that's like paint, right? Protective paint on your drywall. It can bust through that, but it doesn't even have that, right? There is nothing supporting price right now. So it's going to come back down. I'm confident of that. But if it doesn't, hey, guess what? I got another sell order sitting here ready to trigger. So when it finally does decide to come down, I'll be ready. So I'm sure for people that are brand new at this, all of this may be going over your head. But the basic concept I want you to get down is ceilings and floors. You want them supporting you. You want them behind you, not in front of you. So if you're going long, you want lots of floors. If you're buying and you want price to go up, you don't want ceilings, you want floors. You want price supporting you. If you're shorting and you want it to go down, you want ceilings. You want that. That's going to help you. Like happened here, right? When we were all up here trading this and we knew it was going to come down, we liked having all these ceilings. That was good for us. We did not want floors. And I kept telling you guys, this is an awesome trade. I was so excited. At one point, I had 1 million units in this one. I was so excited about it because I saw this happening because there was not hardly any floors and there was so much ceiling up here. So I predicted this one big time. I had 1 million units in it. I was so confident with it. And as you saw on my spreadsheet, I banked on that one. Of course, then my husband waltzes in and makes 10% on it, so he's laughing again. All right, so let me see what else you guys are asking over here. Josie mentioned Aussie yen, which I think I had put in Discord a spreadsheet of this one. Did I not? Let me go up to a weekly because then I can see the higher time frame floors and ceilings. So this one, you see my buy and sell orders, which sometimes Oanda is weird and it won't show all the monthly zones unless you're actually on the monthly chart. So this is the monthly chart. This is one of those rare occasions where there's actually a 12-month zone involved here. So you've got a 12-month zone, a 12-month floor, a monthly floor, you've got some weekly floors down here, but then you've also got really strong zones right here, not that far away. So I actually don't love this pair right now. Just because look how it's just going sideways. Like it goes up here, it goes down here, which I mean you can make some money on those moves, but it's just I don't know. Something about this pair, every time I look at this chart, I'm just like it doesn't make me excited. But you could, I mean, it's going up right now. It's reacting off of this very strong floor. But it's, it's got some problems. This is a bumpy ride until it gets up to that monthly area. You're going to have to contend with these daily areas. You've got some weekly areas up here. So I don't know how far up you're wanting to take it. If you're one of those people that likes to sit on it and wait, I don't know. For some reason, like I said, I don't know what it is about this. I do have buy and sell orders sitting here, but you can see I put this one like at the very top, right where that weekly zone starts. I don't even want to mess with it down here. I don't know. I don't know what it is about this one. I just don't like it. So, but I mean, I'm sure there's money to be made there. I just like those zones that, I mean, you look at them and you're just like, yes, like that one, the Euro Aussie, right? This is what I want to see. Oh, come on. This thing is being so finicky. Let's go down to the weekly. Right. This is what I want to see right there. That huge amount of zone. I mean, so much that I would have to get through. I want to see that where I can look at it and immediately go, yes, price is not getting through that. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, let's go to Discord and do a review of today. Does anyone have questions? Anything? I want to make sure. I'm trying to be better about like checking the chat and making sure I'm addressing things. Discord. If anyone isn't in the Discord, it's free. The link is on the Facebook page. You can get in and see every day what I'm doing. I'm constantly posting my trades, and I'm going to start. I do my days from 5:00 p.m. Central Time to 5:00 the next day, because 5:00 Central Time is when the Aussie market opens. And so that's, you'll see whenever I type in my daily logs, they're always 5 p.m. to 5 p.m. So my day is over already. It was over 4 hours ago. So I'm going to start this at 5:00 last night, which I don't think I had. Yeah, there I'm posting my results. And this is the first one I had, which was 11 p.m. So here we're talking about the Euro Aussie, which is the one that we banked on. I don't think I actually did any. Last night was slow. It was slow. I didn't do anything last night. All right, so the first thing I have here is 4 a.m. Euro dollar. While I was sleeping, my profit order and re-entry order is activated. What does that mean? Well, just like we saw a second ago, was it in this one? What was the one we were talking about a minute ago where I moved was it this one? I can't remember now. Let me get down to the 180. Yeah, Okay, now it looks familiar. So what I'm talking about in that euro dollar is exactly what happened here, right? It went up, it triggered my profit. When I say profit target, it means that I took some cash out. Like it reached an area that I knew price was about to turn, so I went ahead and cashed in some profit. I usually leave about 20-25% of my position in the trade and cash out about 80%. That's typically what I do. So what I was talking about there was that happened and then it came back down. So it's as if this came down here already and triggered a new order to get back in. So that's what I'm talking about there. And this all happened while I was sleeping. So I made $111 while I was sleeping. I just increased my position size going long. So now I'm on the third move. This pair is going to have some trouble for a while. And I'm showing you on the screenshot what's going on here. I'm going long, but you see I'm about to have some major problems. It's coming from a really strong floor, but there's a bunch of ceilings right here. They're not as strong, but those are big, hefty ceilings. So there's not a whole lot of profit potential there. You can make a few pips, but it's not getting through that anytime soon. All right, this pair is going to have some trouble for a while, and then I'm talking about those ceilings. So a little bouncing ball, and you guys have seen me talk about the bouncing ball that's price. What am I referring to? I'm going to show this video again. I want you guys to have this visual. Price is like this ball, and you see sometimes it goes faster than others, right? Sometimes it goes up there really slow. Sometimes it shoots up there super fast. This is like price action as it's hitting those ceilings and floors. Every time it hits, it's chipping away. It's like a hammer or a jackhammer. It's chipping away. Now there's times when it's like a football team there with jackhammers doing it, like if there's a news event or something like that and it's getting through it really quickly. But for the most part, it's like this. It hits, it chips a little bit of it away, it hits again, it chips a little bit away, and on it goes. And the thicker and more reinforced that zone, the longer it takes to get through that. So I like to show that visual because I think it helps to understand what price is doing there. So that's why I'm talking about a ball here. That ball is just going to be doing this for a while. It's just going to be going back and forth, back and forth. It's chipping away, chipping away, chipping away, but it's going to take a while, right? That thing is basically going to be sideways. And honestly, I probably shouldn't have even got into this. What I'm guessing has happened, I don't remember, but normally what happens is I have little orders set on all of my pairs, and when they trigger, I get a notification on my phone. If I'm not out of my computer, I just go ahead and jump in. That's probably what happened here, because if I had looked at this chart, I'd be like, no, just let it get through all that mess, and then I'll get in. Because just to me, that's not even worth tying up your capital. If you want to sit here and trade these little moves, I mean, you could make some money off of that, but you got to sit here and watch it, and ain't nobody got time for that. So anyway, all right, then I'm talking about the pound Swiss. Like, wow, there must have been some crazy news that happened while I was sleeping. Look how fast price shot up. I had a profit target set before I went to bed. So I got out of this position about halfway up. So I did not anticipate that move going all the way. I made $57 on that move. Right now, price is sitting in a 3-hour daily ceiling. And if you guys can see that right there, that's that 3-hour daily ceiling. It's a great time to pull out some profit. It will start coming back down and probably will come down for a while since there aren't many floors to support price that high. Do you see what's down here? In between this heavily reinforced ceiling and this heavily reinforced floor is almost nothing. There's a few little tiny 30-minute floors there. There is not much to support where price is at right now. That sucker is coming down. So that's what I'm saying there. Like, that's an awesome time to get into a short right there when you've got this heavily reinforced ceiling up here and nothing to stop it going all the way back down. Pound Swiss. I'm watching for a good place to get back into this position, but I want to make sure price is going to turn before I jump in. What do you know? Sometimes I can't exercise patience. It's a miracle. I think price may drop for a while. I don't know. Honestly, I don't even know why I didn't just jump into a short there. I should have. Now that I'm looking at that, I'm like, dude, why didn't I just get in a short there? But I guess I was just waiting for it to come back down. I was taking a more conservative approach, and that doesn't happen very often. So I guess I just waited for it to come back down. Pound Swiss. I'm putting a tiny order right above the 30-minute, 3-hour floors, and I'm telling you the area, so that I'll get a phone notification when price is in that area, and it'll trigger me to get back into this position. But I'll keep watching this one and see if price is going to go down that far. You can see here, and this is a lower time frame of this. This is the same chart, but this is a lower time frame. So all those tiny little blue specks you see on the higher time frame, because I think this is what? That's a daily chart. This is the same chart, but it's a 3-hour chart. So that's those same little specks, but they're bigger in this chart. So you can see right here, look how you can predict price. It goes up to that pink zone, that 3-hour zone, and look what it does. It turns around, right? I mean, it's so predictable. So that I should have gotten in short. I really should have. I don't know why I didn't. All right, dollar. And okay, does anybody know what this currency is? You guys probably told me last night, and then I lost all the chat when the internet went down. But did anyone look this up? Because I meant to look this up today, and I forgot. But whatever the CZK, I don't even care. I made money on it, though. I said, man, this chart makes me wish I had gotten up earlier, because there's a huge move while I was asleep. I could have made money on these huge moves. Oh well, I'm here now. I'm back into this long position, and I just threw in 150,000 units. So you can see price came back down to these floors, and you can't see them, but there's also higher time frame floors. For some reason, Oanda doesn't show them to you unless you're in a higher time frame chart. It shot up to here. I don't know what stopped it there. It probably was these wicks over here. You remember how I talked about the wicks behind the wall? Sometimes those affect price. In fact, a lot of times they do. So you do have to pay attention to that, because right there where that wick ends, that's right about the time price turned around. Actually, it did come up here. I don't know. That's even a weird area because there's nothing there. So I don't know. It might have been like a major price, because a lot of times price will react if it's like exactly $1.50 or something like that. So sometimes that can also turn price, because a lot of people will put their buy orders and sell orders right there. In fact, I've heard even institutions do that, like right at that even clean $1.50 or whatever. So it could be even something like that. But for whatever reason, price turned at that point and started coming back down. So had I been awake during this time, could have made money when it came down here, which I did, then money when it came up here, even up here, and then back down. I mean, you could have ridden this ride all night long. It's been fun. Okay, Evan, Koruna, Czech Koruna, am I saying that right? So Czech Republic, is that right? I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Well, I like their currency because I've made some good money off of it. All right, which by the way, that's another way I deviate from a lot of other currency traders. There are a lot of traders I've heard say, I never trade the exotics. I only stick with the majors. And the majors are like the US dollar, the Japanese yen, the euro, you know, the majors. I don't know why people don't trade these, because I make good money. I've made good money on the Mexican peso. I've made good money on this Czech koruna. What else have I done? There was another. Oh, the one today. Yeah, let me show that one. That was crazy. I can't wait till we get to that one, actually. Let's see, where's today's chart? Yeah, look at this. What's this one, Evan? Do you know? TRY? Is that Turkey? I don't even know what that one is either. I don't know what it is, but look how much money I made on it today. And I would have made more if I wasn't getting on an airplane. I was too scared because it was so volatile. I had a little fear. Occasionally it creeps in. I was like, man, this thing is so volatile. I don't want to just get on an airplane and leave that sitting. Like, I can't do it. So if I had been in my, oh, I wish I would have been in front of my computer. I would have made so much money off of that, which I did already. I mean, that's $3,000 off of that one pair right there. It was crazy. So, okay, Derek says it's Turkish. How do you pronounce that? Ira? Or is that an L? Lira? Turkish lira. Am I saying it right? Okay. Turkish lira. Hopefully I can remember that. Well, I like them too because I made $3,000 off that today. All right, so here we are at the dollar check, right? I'm setting a profit target to cash out 140,000 units. I'm telling you the area, right before the wick behind the wall near the 3-hour pink ceiling. So see this wick behind the wall right here? I was setting my profit target right under that. It says, see how it says sell limit? That's my profit target because I'm in a long, I'm buying. So if you're in a long and it hits a sell limit, then that means you're reversing your position. You're cashing that out. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. So that's what's going on there. I'm just telling you, this is where I'm putting my target. I'm expecting price to have enough momentum from those pink floors to get through these measly 30-minute ceilings. And they may bounce off a little bit, but I wasn't even going to worry about it. I think I was setting up my trades with the anticipation of kind of being out, traveling all day, and I just wasn't going to be able to watch this stuff. So I was anticipating eventually it would break through these and come up to this level, but then probably have some trouble with this wick behind the wall. Pound yen. If I had been awake, I would have cashed out some profit. I'm telling you that area. If I had a profit target set before I went to bed, but it was higher than that. So this is an instance, just like I showed you earlier, where I set it a little bit too high and it didn't trigger. If I had been awake and watching it, I would have seen that price was not going to climb that high, and I would have taken some profit out before it went back down. Now that price has dropped way down. So I probably had my profit target I must have had it just barely into this zone. So when price shot up there, it didn't quite trigger that profit target, and then it shot all the way back down. And again, you see how predictable price is? Look at that. So predictable. Knew exactly where that sucker was going to turn. Now that price has dropped way down, I'm increasing my position size by 10,000 units. So I got back in that and was going to write it the other way. Here we are on the euro check. Okay, this one, I told you guys and this was such a stupid thing. And it's a stupid thing that cost me over $1,000. I was supposed to go, was it I was supposed to go short? The opposite of what I was supposed to do. And I pushed the wrong button. So I'm in a long, I'm supposed to be short. A sucker all day was going against me. And all day I'm like, whatever. I have faith in my zones. I'm not going to worry about it. That could have all been green the whole day. I could have made over 1,000. Instead, it's going against me over $1,000. Now, and I told you guys this in Discord right before we got on the webinar. I'm like, now it actually makes sense to get in a long. So I actually increased my position in the long. But oh my gosh, what a stupid mistake! Because I could have made $1,000 on the way down and then wrote it back up. I was so bummed about that, but. Oh well, I mean, I guess $4,000 or whatever I made today is enough, so I'm not gonna cry, but it's still a bummer. All right, so here's this one where I pushed the wrong button, got in the wrong way. I was probably trying to do this on my phone. I'm terrible with the phone app trying to get in and out of orders, so I try not to do it, but sometimes I have to. All right, price dropped pretty significantly. It's now increasing from a daily orange floor. I just increased my position size by 4,000 units. I couldn't increase it much because I'm out of capital. Well, thank goodness, Lindsay, because you're in the wrong way. All right, so Euro Aussie price is coming down. Look at this morning. And I showed you guys this chart, right? It came all the way down here, but look at where it was at that point. So we were already now I'm still in the negative because I jumped into this sucker with 1,000 units early on, and then Trump gets on Twitter and it goes way up here, and I was out of capital, so I couldn't capitalize on that. If I had had the capital, I would have dumped a whole heck of a lot more at that point, but I didn't have anything else to put in it. So I hope some people got to take advantage of that. So anyway, what am I saying here? It's coming down like it's supposed to, right? Just like we predicted, it's doing exactly what we thought it would. If you got into this position early yesterday like me, you probably were sweating it. Unfortunately, I threw a huge amount of capital at this too early. So I'm not in profit yet, but it's getting close. And I showed you earlier, I still banked on this. Even though I jumped in too early, I still banked on that. That was $1,300 from today, $400 from yesterday. So even though I jumped in too early, still banked on that. All right, and then I'm telling you, there are still way more ceilings than floors on this one. So I'm telling you guys, look, there's still money to be made on this. And as we saw tonight when I showed you guys the live chart, it went way down after that. Euro dollar price is starting to stall in that daily orange zone. What am I talking about? This daily orange ceiling right here. It's stalling. Why do I know that? Look at that wick. There's pressure. It's pressure to come down. That's what those wicks mean, right? Look at that. There's a huge wick right there. And what did price do? It plummeted, right? That was a clue right there. Price is coming down. Excuse me. So I'm telling you, I set a new tiny order to alert me when price falls back down so I can increase my position size again. So I'm waiting for it to come back down, and you see right there, there's my order waiting, which I could have shorted this and brought it down. I don't know why I didn't actually. I was probably more conservative today because I was traveling and I wasn't going to be able to monitor much. I didn't make moves like that. All right, dollar check. Price took a huge nosedive. As you know, to me, that says opportunity, right? Even though it's going against me, when I see something going against me, to me, it says opportunity. I jump in even more. I double down on it. Again, just telling you what I do, not making a recommendation. Take it or leave it. Adjust it to your level of risk tolerance. And I'm telling you, I increased my position size. You can see I am not in profit here. Actually, you know what? I think that's the one I got in the wrong way. The euro check. Is that the one I said earlier? I don't remember. I think that's the one I got I pushed the wrong button. All right, euro check. This one also took a nosedive, which to me speaks opportunity. I added 8,000 units to my position size. Euro Aussie, we're back to the Euro Aussie. It just jackhammered through a 3-hour pink floor. This is good news. Why is that good news? We're going short. We don't want floors. We want those jackhammered and out of the way. No floors is good for a short. So I'm telling you guys, this is good news. I'm only negative 897, right? I was just on the verge of breaking into profit on this one. I was down $3,200 yesterday. That was after Trump got on Twitter. Almost to profit with plenty of profit potential to go. Euro Aussie, price jackhammered through a 30-minute turquoise floor. It fell to another 30-minute floor, and it's starting to react to that, which means it's increasing now. Look how predictable price is yet again. Gets down to this floor, what happens? It starts going back up. Price is so predictable. If I was already in the green, I would be pulling out some of my position right now and be looking to increase it again when it gets back down to that area by those two 30-minute ceilings, which are these up here. But I wasn't in profit yet, so can't cash anything out if I'm not in profit. Price is free falling. I'm up $575. I wish there was a timestamp on that one, because right here you see I'm not profitable yet, and then right here I'm up $600. That's how quickly things change. Price dropped to that 3-hour floor. It's starting to stall. Cashing in $725. Look what happened here. I was watching this. I could see signs that it was about to turn. It's sitting in this floor, so I know it's going to turn anytime, and I'm watching it. And when I saw signs that, all right, I'm looking at the 30-second chart, maybe the 1-minute chart, I'm watching for signs that it's about to turn. And that's when I cashed in that $700. The 3-hour pink floor before I edited it, okay? So I'm showing you a before and after picture here. Price came down to that floor. It went part of the way through it. Okay, think about this. This is what's going on here, right? The ball is chipping away, chipping away. Okay, so I'm showing you the before picture before I edited the box. This is the after picture, right? So if you look at them together, you can see that box shrunk down. This is the same exact chart, the same exact time frame. That pink box is smaller now. That's the ball chipping away those bricks, right? It's smaller. And that's good. We don't want floors. We're in a short. We want floors gone. So I'm just making an observation here. Now, I don't know what her real name is, but this foxy lady right here, she's aggressive. I love it. Because she's like, I got in long. She's smart. I'm like, I love it. I love it. So she got in long right here. And then she's asking my opinion. I said, well, watch around this area. And I was talking about this area right here, right below that 30-minute ceiling. I said, I think price is going to have some trouble right there, because that's a pretty big box right there. That's a pretty big ceiling. And it's going to hit a 30-minute ceiling there. It's almost to that 30-minute ceiling now. I'm hoping it blasts through it and goes up to the 3-hour pink ceiling, because I want it to go really high. All right, price continued to drop here. What is my commentary? Like clockwork, it went up to that area and started coming back down again. Okay, so you see how it touched exactly where I said it would, right? She asked my opinion. I said, watch it right there. When it gets to this ceiling, I think it's going to have some trouble there. And sure enough, what does it do? As soon as it gets there, it falls down. Price is so predictable. It was too fast for me to catch. I mean, it literally touched that and jetted back down, because I should have had a buy or a sell order already ready to go right there, but I was not fast enough. So I said, I'm just going to wait until I have a better opportunity. If someone's faster than me, you could take profit going both ways on every move. For example, just now you could have gone long like Fox when price dropped into that pink floor, cashed out, and then got back in. Right? If you're fast, you can that ball, every time it moves, you can make money on it. All right, what happened? Click something. Oh, good night. Now I've lost my place. Just got to find the foxy lady. All right, where was I? Okay, here we are. We're back on the Euro Aussie. I'm about to leave for the airport. I can't watch this anymore. Since that's the case, I set up my order entries all the way back up to the next daily ceiling. I'm talking about this. Do you see how I have orders the entire way up there? I don't know how far our price is going to go, but I'm ready. And you notice I put them before every ceiling. In this case, a set of ceilings, because those are so close together. But before every ceiling, I have got orders ready to go to increase my position as it's working against me. Yep, that means I'm throwing more money at a losing trade. Gasps the whore, because I have caught so much flack for doing that. I actually hope price does pull back. To me, it says opportunity and profit. That would give us a great opportunity for more profit. The further it pulls back into that area, the further down it has to go. So I am going to embrace that. $0. I'm setting up a buy order above the floors. I'm telling you the area to get back into a long position. Price is climbing up to that weekly ceiling, and I expect it to fall pretty hard from there. So I see it. It's approaching this huge reinforced ceiling right here. Price is not going to get through that without a reaction. It's just not. Pound yen. I just pulled out most of my position after price rallied. Now I'm setting up a new long order entry. I'd give you the area just above those floors. So right there, ready to go, right before all these floors as price comes down. I only made $12 on that move since my position size was so small. All right, at that point in time, when I left for the airport, I had made 2%. What time was this? This was a little after 6 o'clock. Left for the airport. I'm at 2%. Right before I shut down my computer, as we're about to leave for the airport, this triggers on my phone. I get this notification on my phone that one of my little tiny orders, which I didn't even go through that, did I? Let me show that. What pair was I on when I first started drawing zones? It was an Aussie pair, wasn't it? Does anybody remember? The one that I was drawing at the beginning? Aussie cat, I think. I didn't even get through the entire way of my process. Once I draw all these zones, and let me go up to the weekly so we can see them. Then I'm deciding where I want to get in. I like zones, I've said this, that are monthly and weekly together. So ceilings and floors that have both. Like right here, we have that coupling. So I would set a sell order right there. I like to, and let me stop for a second because I know we have a lot of new people here that don't know anything about Forex. Every asset class, whether it be stocks, futures, Forex, there's some unit of measurement. In Forex, it's called a pip, P-I-P. You can make a pip worth whatever you want. In this case, let me find how much it takes to get to a penny. Okay, you see how it went up to a penny? But up until that point, it was a decimal of a penny. They don't even have the decimal that far out, but you can literally trade Forex in decimals of a penny. Okay, you can make it really small. On the flip side, let's see. What's the max trade size? Does anybody know? Does anybody know what it is? Okay, how much is one pip worth there? $750 per pip. You can scale Forex. However, obviously not however big you want because it does have a limit, but that's 100 million. It doesn't take that. Somebody look it up for me. What's the max? So one pip, $750, or you just put a little small order in here and it's worth 1 penny. This is a completely scalable class, and that's one way in which Forex it's differentiated from other classes. Like if you buy a stock, you don't get to set the price. The price is determined by the market. That stock is that stock price. Take it or leave it, right? I mean, if you want a Facebook stock, I don't even know what Facebook's up to now, but I don't know. Amazon, isn't that like $1,500 or something? It's ridiculous. Okay, well you can't say, nah, I just want to make it 1 penny. No. So that's one way in which Forex is very unique and awesome because you can scale it to your account size. So you can make it worth whatever. So when I'm doing these orders, I'm just making them worth 1 penny, and I like to bring it up to 1 penny because it's nice and easy for me when I'm looking at my phone to see, if it's up 10 cents, I know it's up 10 pips. So what I'm doing here is I'm essentially setting up a notification. That's all this is. This is not a real position size. All I'm doing is putting this little trigger here so that when it gets up to that area, when price gets up there, it will send a notification to my phone that I'm in an order. And then I'll go look at the chart. Theoretically, if I'm at my computer, I'll go look at the chart and see, all right, is this a position I really want to get into? Most of the time, honestly, I just jump in and then I worry about it later. But I should go look at my charts first just to make sure there's profit potential and, that there's not something funky going on. It's just, I am very much a jump in and worry about the rest later kind of person. All right, and then I want to set a buy order as well. Now look at that zone. Look at that floor. I mean, there's no way price is getting through that without something really major going on. So that's a very, very strong floor. So I'm going to set right at the beginning of this a buy order. And again, for 70 units to bring it up to 1 penny per pip. Now, this goes back to what I was talking about in the beginning. That's a huge area. That's a huge playing field. How many pips is that from top to bottom? Stupid measuring tool. There's always a lag. From top to bottom, okay, it's close enough. 162 pips right there. You ignore that last number. Okay, now it's finally working. 155 pips. You ignore this last number, that's a decimal. So it's 155 pips. Okay, if it's a penny per pip, what is that, $1.55? Okay, no big deal. But if you're trading in massive quantities, that's a lot. If you dollar per pip, that's $150. If you're trading $10 per pip, you see how this escalates quickly. So I get that most people don't want to deal with having that much risk. So perhaps you find a zone within the zone that you want to have as your playing field. That's one way you can modify it. Me, I'm taking the whole thing. I know price is going to turn somewhere in there. I don't even care. I'm getting in at the beginning. If it keeps going down, I'm just increasing. I'm just throwing money at it. That's the way I operate. But again, I know that is not a popular thing to do. It scares people to death. All right, so this is what I do on every pair. I draw my zones down to the daily, which I said probably you could get away with not even doing the daily until you're in the trade. Set your sell limit, your buy limit as just a notification if you want to do what I do. And that's it. Literally, that is how I determine what to get into. It triggers on my phone. I jump in. That's it. That's literally all I do to determine where to get in. So I'm about to leave for the airport. And here, this triggers on my phone. I get a notification that I get into this. I've never traded this before. I didn't even know what it was until you guys told me a minute ago. Didn't even know what it was. But I had done my charting. I had set my orders just like I do on every pair. So I get this notification on my phone right as we're leaving for the airport. What do? I jump in. True to form. I'm like, whatever. I didn't have time to analyze or anything. I just threw money at it, shut my computer down. My husband's laughing at me. Shut my computer down, and off we go. Then look at this. Wow. I get into the Uber. We're in Uber car on the way to the airport. I open up my phone. I'm already up $600 just for the time it took us to grab our luggage, check out, and get in the car. $600. I was like, glad I jumped into this before I left. I was so excited. I've been monitoring price from my phone in the car, which is so annoying. I mean, I love the app, the Oanda app, but the charting, it's difficult. And I'm sure it's very difficult to program that into an app. I mean, you're getting a live feed of price action. So, I'm not hating, but it is difficult to monitor these things on your phone. So I'm sitting here in the Uber, trying to spread my zones out so I can, spread my charts out so I can see what's going on. I saw on the 30-second chart that it was starting to react to the wick behind the wall in higher time frames. So I went ahead and pulled out 150 units, leaving 50,000 units in the pair. I'm going to monitor for a place to increase position size again. I made $623 on that move. And I showed you guys this earlier on my log. Let's see, which one was that? That's not today. Here we go. I am literally trading this from 7:39 to 8:11. This is all during the time we're on our way to the airport. We're standing in line trying to check our baggage. People are getting annoyed with me, right? Because I'm standing in line, like not moving along with the flow. You know, they want my ID, trying to get through security. Sitting here on my chart, I'm like, I am banking right now. Just leave me alone. Look at this. $3,000. And how long was that? From 7:39 to 8:11? What is that, half an hour? $3,000 in a half an hour. And I wish I had been at my computer because I could have done so much better than that, because I got scared. Like I said, I'm like, I'm getting on the plane. I don't want to just leave. It was so volatile. I was like, I don't want to just leave a position in there and then get it up in a plane and I can't look at it. I was too nervous to do it. I'm riding the waves. I just made another $578. Making up for not getting my goal yesterday. Yep. And then some. So I'm showing you, like, as I'm doing this, that move right there, $1,700. Just cashed in most of my position, looking for a place to increase position size again. I'm out now. We're going to eat breakfast. Can't watch it. Once I'm in the plane, I'm going to get on the Wi-Fi. I never did. Once I got on the plane, I'm like exhausted. I'm just like, I'm over it. You know what? I made $4,000 today. Stick a fork in me. I'm done. All right, I just pulled some profit out of the Euro Aussie. It's getting buying pressure and looking like it's going to move up. I'm on my phone looking at it, so I can't tell what floors and ceilings it's contending with, but I'll be looking for a good place to increase my position size once it pulls back. I made $146 on that move. Euro Aussie, again, just increased my position size when I saw the big top wicks starting to form. The airplane is about to take off. I have to put my phone in airplane mode. Once we're in the air, I'll get my, I didn't. So after that, you didn't see much from me because I'm on and off airplanes. It's about to take off again. We had a layover while we're flying. 200,000 entry triggered. Okay, so I'm back into a position that I had set before I got to the airport. Now I'm decreasing my position size before taking off since I can't watch it closely. So I cashed out some profit, making $337 on that move, which I probably could have made more there, but I went ahead and got out of it since I couldn't watch it. All right, going down to the next one. Here we're back into this turkey one. Now this is tonight, so I'm kind of showing you like after the fact. I got out of it earlier when I was about to fly out. It just reached the 30-minute turquoise ceiling. So what am I talking about there? This right here. All right, so it just reached the ceiling. I raised my position size by 100,000 units. I set an additional sell order above current price in case price continues to rally. What am I talking about there? Look at that. I have orders all along the way. If price starts going against me, I am just continuing to double down on it. Not advising, just telling you what I'm doing. I set additional sell orders. Okay, I already read that. If price drops, I have a buy order ready to go at the 3 hour, which is the pink floor, to decrease my position size by 80%. So I'm ready for either direction. I don't care what price does. I'm ready. If it goes against me, opportunity, double down on it. I know it's not getting through this area. It's going to turn somewhere. But if it goes in my favor, look, I got a buy limit here, ready to get out of part of my position, most of my position. So I'm ready for either way. I don't care where it goes. Honestly, I kind of, in many ways, want it to go against me, because the further up it goes into that zone, the further it has to come down, and I know it's coming down. So this is why I don't get anxiety when it goes against me. I like it. When I see red, I'm like, all right, time to put more in. And I showed you this. I'm going to show you again, so it's on the recording from last week. That is, I think it was New Zealand yen. I told this story on the one that didn't record. So New Zealand yen, and this is when I was pussyfooting around with the stupid stop limits. Again, not advising. Do what you want with your stops. Fit it to your risk tolerance. I stopped using them. I still put them like 300 pips away so it doesn't like explode my account for some reason. But every time I got stopped out, I just jumped back in. So I'm like, why am I doing this? This is stupid. And that's exactly what happened here. So here, I lost 500 bucks. It's 10 p.m. at night. We're about to go to bed. My husband's freaking out because he sees me on my phone. He sees I lost $500. He's like, oh my gosh, you just lost $500. I'm like, yeah, time to get back in. It's like, what? You're going to lose more money. I'm like, no, I'm getting back in. So this, let's see, those three were before that. So that night, or no, that next morning, I made $800 because I got back into this. I made $800 and then I continued to trade it the next day, right here. Look at that. 1,800 bucks. So I made like 2,400 bucks trading that pair after I got stopped out and lost $500. And that was the point when I'm like, I don't even know why I'm putting these stop losses here. I see it as opportunity. The further it gets into this area, it's like I keep saying, like a rubber band. It's being stretched and stretched and stretched and stretched and stretched. Like the further it gets into that zone, I see it as, oh, and that thing finally snaps, like the Euro Aussie. You guys saw this. Like the further it went up into that zone, I so badly wanted to have capital to throw at it, and I had nothing to throw at it when it got to that peak way deep into that ceiling. So to me, when I see negative numbers going way, way, way against me, I'm like, all right, this is going to be good. So I do not get anxiety. It's quite the opposite. Here we are with the Euro Aussie again. I closed 100% of my position out because price is falling into a very strong floor. I have new sell orders ready to increase my position size before every 3-hour pink ceiling, all the way back up to the monthly blue ceiling. Now, this one, in fact, I think that was the next, yep, that's the next one. We just looked at this. If you guys remember a few minutes ago, I was up like $500 or $600 when we pulled it up, and then I moved my sell order down. And remember, I couldn't remember if I had put a stop on that little tiny zone. It looks like I didn't. So I'm actually quite proud of myself. I predicted that price would get through that because it was so small. And it did. I don't know if you guys remember looking at that. So it blasted through that zone right there. It didn't stop. And so I didn't even have an order waiting there. I had it right here. And do you remember that price went almost to that point? You know, it was like a hair away. I don't know if you guys remember that, me pointing that out. I was so close, like almost spot on to where that price was going to go. So I had this buy limit sitting here, and it snatched that up because it got that. I think it did. Let me go look at I think it got that. Well, I may have put a new one in, so it probably wouldn't tell me anyway, but I'm pretty sure it snatched that up when it came down here. And then it got a hair away from that and then started coming back down again. I'm telling you guys, price is so predictable. So predictable. All right, I saw someone said something. It's still going long now. And I think, let me look. Am I still in my long position? I know I pulled out a part of it. Let's look. Let me go down to the 3-hour. Now you see how it's blasting through that second zone, which it looks like I pulled completely out of this one. So now it's time to go short, because look at that. You see that wick right there? What does that mean? There's pressure. It wants to come down. Let's look at a lower time frame. Here's the 30-minute. You see how we had this long candle, and then look, all of these are having wicks. It's still going up, but it's feeling some pressure from the upside. Let's look at, let's do a 5-minute chart. Look at that. It's definitely losing momentum there. It's hitting this 3-hour ceiling, and look at that long wick right there. Like if I saw that, I know, okay, it's time. And you can see it's starting to come down here. So what the heck? Let's do it. Euro Aussie. It's gonna fall down. Watch. Now, it's got some floors here. The faster price shoots up, the less floors you're gonna have, right? So right there, you see there's nothing to stop it. However, when it stopped losing momentum, you see how it's starting to create these floors? It's starting to get some support. So it's not just gonna fly down. But you know, this is a pretty decent zone, a pretty decent ceiling right here. So it's gonna have a little bit of momentum going down, but it's gonna have some resistance because there's all these little floors here. It's not gonna be an easy, like just shooting down. Now, once it reaches this level, look at that. There's nothing but air, nothing but air. This is a 5-minute chart, right? It doesn't get much lower than that. And there is nothing. There's not a 30-minute, there's nothing. That is a 5-minute chart right there. There is not even like the paint coating or the wax, nothing. It's just air. So once it gets down to that level, it's gonna come down here. So I'm in short now. Euro Aussie, man. I've been milking that for all it's worth. All right, Euro, check. Got into this long by accident. Okay, this is the one that I went the wrong way on accident. And look how much money I could have made if I had just pushed the stinking sell button instead of the stinking buy button. If it's blue, that's a long. That means you bought, and I was supposed to sell. So that was just a dumb mistake. And most normal people would have caught that a long time ago, but when I see negative numbers, I'm just like, it's gonna turn. I have good ceilings and floors. I'm not gonna worry about it. So I didn't figure this out until I came to look at all my positions tonight, and I'm like, wait a minute, what was I thinking? Gotta be kidding me. And when I look at it, you can see it's a perfect place to go long. So I'm like, I'm already in a long. Great. But except that now I'm $1,500 down. So what did I do? I increased my position size. I'm like, at least I can kind of negate some of that horrible mistake. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. All right, euro dollar. Price is slowly climbing out of that monthly weekly floor, which is this down here. Look at that huge floor. Price is not going to get through that easily. Have a buy and sell orders ready to go, to be ready for either direction. Price might decide to go from here, right? You see, I have sell orders up here, buy orders down there. I don't care which way it goes. I'm ready for either one. Give it to me. Lay it on me. Pound yen. Price climbed up to a weekly daily ceiling. So I closed this position out completely. I have a tiny buy order set at 145. I give you the area in case price drops back down to that monthly weekly floor. Right? Once again, I'm ready for either direction. I've got these are just those little notifications, you know, those little tiny orders that just all that's there for is just to tell me on my phone, hey, you have something, you have an opportunity here. That's it. So that's where we're at now. So if you guys aren't in Discord, you should get in. This is the trading room, right? I showed you the resources earlier. This is the trading room where I'm posting all my trades. I try every time I get into something or get out of something or change something to post it in here. Again, not advising, just telling you what I do, and you guys can mold it and make it into what fits you. Every trader is different. Everyone has different risk tolerances, different account sizes. So it's okay. This is not a sacred cow. Take whatever you want from what I do, throw out what you don't want. I won't be offended. Now, I wanted to show you, since you guys didn't get to see it all, I showed you a little bit of my husband's chart here, but I wanted to show you, since it didn't show up on the screen earlier. Okay, he has $1,000, or he had, now he's grown it, but 2 days ago, he only had $1,000 in this account. And I told you, he originally set his goal at 5% because he wanted to do what I've been doing. I'm like, okay, so you're going to get up with the London session? No. So he is like, not doing it. I said, well, I think you might want to set a more realistic interest goal then, because where's the money, right? And I'll show you. I pulled this up the other day. This is time zone calculator for Forex. This website will show you, you can put in your time zone. It shows you when all the markets open and when all the markets close. The only two open right now are Sydney and Tokyo. A lot of traders don't even trade this time. In fact, I was in a trading class the other day where, some of the hot shots are like, oh, we never trade the Australian Tokyo market. There's no money there. I'm like, I can make usually 1 to 2% when I start setting up trades in that time frame, and I try to get there around that 5 o'clock point when Australia's opening, set up some trades to get ready, like I've been showing you, where no matter where direction's going, I'm ready, right? I usually can make 1%. Now, last night, for some reason, it was slow. I don't know, and I showed you that. There was nothing last night that I posted. I don't know why. I don't know what was going on there, but usually I can make some decent money, and I always wake up to money. I mean, I don't think I've had a night yet since I've started this thing that I haven't waken up and had some kind of profit trigger. So I don't know why these guys think that, they scoff at it. They all like the London Open. That's where the money's at. You want to make good money in Forex? 2 a.m. I don't get up at 2 a.m. I like money, but I have 5 kids, and they're not going to let me stay up all night and sleep all day. So the best I can do is maybe 4 a.m. So if you are able to get up at 2 a.m. and trade the London Open, you can make, there's a lot of profit potential there. That's when the market is moving the most. But you can make good money, as I showed you, as my husband has shown you, who outperformed me today. He didn't even wake up for any of it, So anyway, this is a great website just to show you. And I've noticed, you'll start noticing as you do this and as you practice that there's kind of waves in the market, and you start being able to predict like when price is going to start moving again based on when these markets open and close, because there's times when there's multiple markets open and there's times when there's only one open, and like the afternoon it's dead. Like after lunch, unless some news happens. And I always love when Trump gets on Twitter in the afternoon, because yes, you never get money in the afternoon, but thank you, Trump. I don't even care what direction it goes, because even if it goes against me, I'll just double down on it and take it down again. I don't care. Just get it moving, because it never moves in the afternoon. So that's always a gift when that happens. I embrace news. And the reason I embrace news is when those big moves happen really super fast, it's too fast to create any floors. So even if it goes against you, make it all up on the way down. To embrace that. I'm telling you, embrace it. Don't resist that. So, all right. I wanted to talk a little bit about, I know I'm going really long, but I wanted to mention this too. I don't know if any of you guys have ever read Robert, and let's see if I can pronounce his name, Kiyosaki, I think is how you pronounce his last name. You've probably heard of the Rich Dad, Poor Dad books. That is his first book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Excellent books. And I wanted to mention this because he has a book, Before You Quit Your Day Job. And there's a lot of concepts in that book. I would suggest you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, right, to get like his foundational stuff. But this is a really good one too. I wanted to talk a little bit about trading psychology, because I'm telling you that is going to be the biggest hurdle to you making money. If you're trading on emotion, you're going to make stupid mistakes. I make stupid mistakes. But speaking from personal experience, if you're trading with emotion, it's almost always a bad decision. If you're letting greed or fear get in the way, it's going to be a bad decision. Trust me. Just trust me. This is the biggest hurdle to get through in making money. And I've had people tell me, I can make money in my practice account, but as soon as I switch over to my real account, I can't do it, right? People have told me this, and maybe some of you guys can relate to this. You're doing great in your practice account. As soon as you switch over, you can't make money. I would almost bank on the fact that there's emotions involved there. That's why. Because when it's a practice account, there's no real fear or greed there because you have nothing to gain or lose. When you switch over to your real account, you've got something to lose or something to gain. So, I mean, that's what I suspect is going on there. So, this is what I suggest. When you're putting this in fact, let me find an actual zone. Let me go up to a level that we can actually see the big zones, the ones that my playing field. These zones are huge, right? I mean, those are huge. I get that. Not everyone wants a playing field that big because that's a lot of risk to take. That right there is 120 pips. So if you decide I'm going to go short in this, right? And let's make it almost $1 a pip, 74 cents per pip. All right, well, that's a 120 pip zone. So we'll put our stop loss 120 away, okay? Well, that means you have the potential to lose $88. And if it goes all the way through that zone and price doesn't stop, you will lose $88. If that gives you anxiety, don't do it. You need to emotionally part with that money as soon as you put that trade in. In fact, even better, as soon as you deposit that money into your Forex account, pretend it's already gone. Emotionally cut yourself off from that money as if it is already lost. Then, if it's already lost, it's like the practice account. You have nothing to gain, nothing to lose. It's just a game that has no bearing on your life. Okay? You will make so much better decisions if you can do that. Now, if you get to this point and you're putting in this trade and you see that you could possibly lose $88, or let's say you're going up even higher and you have the potential to lose $800, and that gives you anxiety, don't do it. Pick a level that you can look at and say, you know what? If I lose that, it's okay. If you can do that, you will make such better decisions. Then when you look at your trade and it's down $700, you've already parted with that money. So you're totally, completely rational when you decide what you're doing. That is my suggestion. Now, why did I bring him up? If you guys know his story at all, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, his biological dad was the poor dad. The rich dad was his best friend's dad. And they had very, very, very different philosophies about how he should succeed in life. His poor dad was one who valued security. Security was his end all. You get a good job. In fact, you get a government job because those are very secure, very stable. So he was big on security, and he was always advising him to take the secure route. Go to college, get educated so you can go work for a government job. Get a good retirement plan. You'll always be taken care of. His best friend's dad, who is the rich dad, is giving him complete opposite advice. So his rich dad told him, because he's basically at the crossroads as he's coming out of college, trying to decide, okay, which path am I going to take? Am I going to take my rich dad's path? Am I going to take my poor dad's path? And his rich dad, who was his mentor, said, listen, I think what you need to do is write out a plan that's your secure plan. Write out a plan that will give you security for the rest of your life. Then write out a plan that will make you rich. Do both. Once you've written out both plans, decide, do you want secure or do you want rich? And most people, and he talks about this, he says most of the world will pick secure every time. That is most of the world, like by far. Security is it. And I see this with trading, right? And maybe some of you guys have experienced it. You tell people you're trading, oh, that's just a get-rich-quick scheme. That's just gambling right there. You might as well destroy it, right? You guys have probably heard some of this stuff. I've heard it, right? I'm sure you have too, right? It scares people. People, by and large, will pick security every time. So choose, for real. Every time you take a trade, do I want secure? Do I want rich? Think about the people you know that are wealthy, like self-made people, not people that just inherited their fortunes. People that are self-made rich people. Are they risk takers or did they shoot for security? Most of them are risk takers. So whenever you're making these trades, decide what is your priority. There's nothing inherently wrong with saying, I would rather be secure. Okay, then guess what? You need a smaller position size. $800 is not you. You want secure. Okay, so you're looking at something much smaller, right? You're probably the one that needs to go to the smaller ceilings and floors and smaller time frames. But make sure you've got 2 or 3 levels there, right? A 3-hour, on a daily, on a weekly, like stack as many of those as you can. But the smaller ones, maybe that's your playing field because you would rather have the security than the risk. And that's fine. That's who you are. Just know that about yourself and work accordingly. Because I can tell you when I started doing this, I was trying to mold what I am to what other people were telling me to do, and it didn't work. I was failing miserably. In fact, a lot of you know, I've told this story. I'm at the lowest point. I was $8,000 down. And I told you at the beginning of this call what this money is coming from, right? I basically put I gambled our house on me doing well at this. And I told you, I am a go in feet first, work out the details later kind of person. And I didn't even mess with the practice account. I fiddled around with it for a couple days and I'm like, this is boring. This doesn't get me up in the morning. So I just jumped into the real account. At the lowest point, I lost $8,000. That was a very low point for me. Because I have always lived in this belief that has up to now worked for me, that the only thing between me and anything is hard work. Every time that's worked. And here I am, I was putting the work into it. I was working my butt off to make this happen. I was up every day, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. I was practicing, I was reading, I was watching webinars. I was asking questions, and you guys who have been in a class with me, you know I asked questions. One of the instructors called me a pain in his butt because I kept stopping him and asking a zillion questions. You guys that were in that class, you can attest to this. And I was doing the work. It wasn't like I was being lazy and slacking off. And I was so frustrated. And I will tell you at this, and I don't mean to offend anyone here. I'm going to bring a little bit of religion into this because I absolutely believe that this method was divine intervention. And I'm going to do a video on this where I just talk about this story because it's a great story, but it's a long one, so I'm not going to get into it now. But I was in my closet sobbing. I had just lost like $2,000 one morning. And I'm sobbing in my closet and I am yelling at God. Like, why are you letting me fall flat on my face? I took 2 days off of trading, and God and I had a little we had a little meeting of the minds those 2 days. And I'm going to tell this whole story in another video. Overnight, after those 2 days, everything changed. Literally. I go from having like less than 20% accuracy to close to 100%. And the only times I didn't get 100% was like I showed you earlier, where I got stopped out and I jumped right back in. So ultimately, I ended up making it all back. So for all intents and purposes, 100% accuracy overnight. This is why I have no hesitation sharing this with you guys, because this wasn't me. I did not come up with this. I know I didn't come up with this. I am not that brilliant. Certainly not to turn around that quickly. And I'm going to share the story of why I think this is divine intervention. But the whole point I'm trying to get at here is the reason why it wasn't working for me before was because I was trying to take somebody else's method and apply it to me when it wasn't me. And specifically, I was trying to apply a very rules-based system to me. I am not a rule follower. If anyone, a lot of you know me, that is the last thing you would describe me as. When I was a teenager, I stole my mom's driver's license, flew to California, rented a rental car. I was a teenager, went and met some guy from the internet. It was like the most, I didn't tell anyone I was there. It was like the most reckless. You talk about risk taker. Like, I've always been a risk taker, like completely reckless, feet first in, deal with the consequence later kind of person, right? So I'm trying to apply this rules-based system. It wasn't me. It's like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. It didn't work. It didn't work. So I took the pieces that made sense to me and made something that was me. So I completely get that this is not for everyone. This is me. But it's not necessarily you. But maybe you can take some piece of this and build something that is you, because every trader is unique. You all have different backgrounds, different risk tolerance. Everything about you is different from me. And that's a good thing. We don't need more of me's around, trust me. Don't want that. So I'm just, at the end, I'm getting on my little soapbox and giving my little my little Sunday sermon, I guess. So before I wrap it up, do we have any questions, any comments, any victories this week? Did anybody make money? Anybody lose money? Let me see what we have here. I missed some comments here. Great point, Evan says. I don't know what point that was, but good. I'm glad it resonated. I have. That's why I don't tell anyone anymore. After I had my Ferrari, I'll drive over and show them. I'm assuming you're referring back to whenever I said you've probably heard some of these comments. I think a lot of traders can relate, right? And honestly, I didn't talk about it much either. And my family will tell you that some of them are in here today. Until I was making profit, I really didn't talk about it. I didn't want to hear it. I did not want to hear it. I was already hearing it because I had to go to some of my clients to take off time to go to some of these classes. So I had to tell them what was going on. And I was already hearing it from them. And so I already knew I was not getting positive reactions. I already knew that this was people are scared. They don't, it doesn't make sense to them. So yeah, I totally get it, Evan. Wait for the Ferrari and then tell them. I totally get that. And then Derek, that's awesome to hear. Can't wait to hear the full story. Yes, I'm going to do a video on that. I've been planning that for a little bit, actually. Like I said, it's kind of a long story, so I'm just going to do a separate video that's just that, nothing about trading, but it's just I'm going to talk about my story. And it actually starts a few years ago, but it's a really cool story. And if you doubt the existence of God, I would encourage you to read it. I mean, not read it, watch it. Because I may be able to persuade you that there is some divine intervention in the world. So stay tuned. I will post that. All right, your first ceiling didn't hold. How far is the next one? Are you okay? The Euro Aussie, which we're still on here. So first ceiling didn't hold. Are you referring to a screenshot or something that's in a live chart? That was Jason that was asking. Your first ceiling didn't hold. How far is the next one in the Euro Aussie trade? Live. Okay. So when you say first one didn't hold, the next, well, let me get to a lower time frame. We're in the weekly. Which, do you remember what time frame we were in when you were looking at that? Sorry, I need to do better about like looking over there and seeing your comments. I don't manage that very well. Okay, you're talking about this one, I'm assuming. Right here, it blasted through that. So this is whenever I went short because it looked like price was about to turn. Obviously, I was wrong. So there's clearly some momentum here. And guess what I'm about to do? I'm in a losing position. I'm down $150. And what's Lindsay do? I'm about to get in even more. It could possibly blast through this one too. So that's not beyond the realm of possibility. And if it does, guess what? I've got another one waiting here. No problem. Because guess what? It isn't going forever. At some point, it's going to stop. So, and you can see like my position sizes gradually increase. Is that the smartest method? I don't know, honestly. Like I'm kind of playing around with different things. Like used to, I did this the opposite, where I had my biggest position first and then I digressed. But now I'm trying this method where I do my smallest position first, and then as it works against me, it increases, which I think may be a better idea. But I don't know. I'm still playing around with this. Like to me, there's a million. This having this information of knowing where price is going to turn. There's so many different ways you can make money with that knowledge. So I'm still like molding how to best capitalize on that. So I certainly don't sit here and claim like I'm an expert on this. I mean, shoot, my husband who's been trading for 2 days doesn't even get up early. He outperformed me today. So it's like, okay. I always try to look for ways to improve. So hey, and if you guys have suggestions and you see something that I don't see, hey, throw it in Discord. Like, you see, I'm basically the only one talking here. There are a few people interacting with me, but if you see something and you have an idea, put it in there. So yeah, so it blasted through that zone. So it's got some momentum. But here is another thing you got to think about too is, okay, the London market opens at 2. And I've noticed like every opening, usually price starts changing direction. Not always, but I always know if it's going against me, I just probably have to wait until either the London market opens or the New York market opens, and there's going to be a turn. I don't stress about it. Like I said, look at this. Price is going to turn somewhere. It didn't turn there, but that's okay. I mean, it's coming off of a very heavy zone right here. So even though I had shorted it, I would not expect it to go all the way back down. It would have been a small short anyway, but that's okay. Not the end of the world. All right. I don't remember where. Oh, I was answering your question about it didn't hold. All right, so Evan, you said that's what I'm doing. True. You're reacting, and I didn't catch it when you said it. So thanks for your reinforcement. I don't know what I was talking about at the time, but I appreciate you interacting. Can you go up to 1027 and answer that? All right, what was 1027? Are you talking about, okay, mine is in Central Time, so I'm assuming in mine it means 927. When you do a sell limit in Forex, is this the one you're talking about, Evan? I know how it works in stocks. How do you tell what you're buying it out? What you're buying it out, i.e., you enter a sell limit short at $1 and get that little sell limit box. How do you tell what you're buying in Oanda? I'm not sure if I understand your question. When you do a sell limit in Forex, how do you tell what you're buying it out? Can you elaborate? Because I'm not following. When you enter a sell limit at $1 and get that little sell limit box, how do you tell what you're buying it at? Okay, so do you mean like you're going in here to do a new sell order? Short, what your broker is giving you. I'm still confused. What do you mean by your broker is giving you? Are you referring to like my analogy of the lawnmower? I don't know. For some reason, I'm not following your question. Market orders get you in at current price. Yeah, I mean, if you're just doing a new order, whatever the current price is what it's going to be sold at. Like right here, it's telling you, or no, actually right here, it tells you big bold numbers. Is that what you're asking? I mean, here I have a sell limit order. Whatever price is when it reaches that, which is, I mean, it tells you right here, when it reaches this 157,975, that's when it's going to sell it off. So I don't know if that answers your question or not. I'm sorry. I'm not following it too well. But what was it bought at? Okay. So you're asking like when you're in a long, like I am now, or no, I'm not in a long, I'm in a short. So if I was in a long going up and I had a sell limit, you're wanting to know what, like basically how much profit you made on that, or what price point you purchased it at? I think you might be asking me a platform question. So are you wanting like your activity, like some kind of report that's showing you what you bought at and what you sold at? Which I'm not honestly all that familiar with Oanda. I know enough to get by and probably just enough to get dangerous. There is this trading performance that you can go into. And this will show you like your percentages, like how accurate you are, how many trades you've closed, your win percentage. I don't think this gets into like more detail. If you're wanting like, there probably is a way to do that, and probably someone better than me at this stuff. When it comes to technology, again, I am not the person to ask. I do know how to get to this point. And you can see, you know how I made like $17,000 since last week, but look, my total P&L is not that. Why? Because I lost all that money in the beginning when I was trying to figure this out. All right. Is there anything else that I didn't answer? Does anyone else have any other questions, comments, concerns? I know it's a lot. In fact, my parents were trying to watch this yesterday. And I guess my dad thought it was quite complicated, but I have had a lot of time to practice this and learn it. So if you're coming into this for the first time and you've never seen a bar chart before, you've never heard of a short before, I mean, there's so much there, and I know that's completely overwhelming, but you can get there because you know what? 2 months ago, I didn't know what a short was. I had no idea. I had heard the term, but I had no idea what it meant. I was literally YouTubing it going, what is that? And watching YouTube videos, you know, the ones with the little cartoon characters. So it's really simple for me where they're showing you what a short is. That's where I was at not that long ago. So if you're feeling overwhelmed and you want to learn it, you can get there. Again, I live by the edict. The only thing between you and anything you want is hard work. For real. If you want this, what is your why? Really good investing instructor, he had this great analogy, and I'm just going to leave us with this. After I tell this, we'll be done. I know I'm going super late. He was talking about how you have to have a why. If your motivation is money, that's probably not going to get you up in the morning. And he was talking about, all right, let's say you put a ladder in between two skyscrapers, like two super close skyscrapers, and you had just basically a, whatever you call those, extension ladders stretching across them. And somebody told you for $1 million, cross the ladder, walk across it to the other skyscraper. So basically, if you took a misstep or that ladder wobbled at all, you're dead, right? Would you do it? Maybe some people would. I probably would, because that's me. But except I hate heights. But if you had like the equivalent that didn't have heights involved, I probably would do it. So a lot of people wouldn't, though. Normal people that have normal fear wouldn't do that. Like that wouldn't be enough to risk your life. But he said, what if your child was in the middle of it? That changes everything. So you have to have a why. If it's only about money, you're probably not going to get up at 4 a.m. You have to have a why. So think about that. What is your why? Mine, I put our house on the line. Like that's my why right now. I'm trying to get that house paid for. I don't want a mortgage. That's my why right now. That's what gets me up in the morning. I want to have that house free and clear, no mortgage, no lender, nothing. So that's my why right now. After that, it's a car. You guys, and I think my best friend is in this. She said she was going to tune in tonight. She calls it the church van. I drive a church van. It's a 10-passenger van because we have 5 kids. This thing, oh my gosh, guys. The running boards have been destroyed. It has huge scratches down the side. The windshield is cracked. I have hail damage that we've never fixed. It's horrible. I cannot wait till we can get a car. So after the house is paid for, I'm getting a car. So that's my why. So think about that. What is your why? Why are you doing this? Dream big. Think about what's going to get you up in the morning. So that's all I have for tonight. And I know it went really, really long, and I'm sorry about that. And I'm sorry for the technical difficulties we had at the beginning of this. Going forward, I need to make sure not only does the audio work, but that my screen is in the correct, looking at the correct thing. So anyway, if anyone has anything else, let me know. I have a question here. Is there a link we need to type in to join your Discord? Oh, let me put it in the chat. It's on the Facebook page, like I said. It's also here, I think, in resources. So let me copy it. I'm going to paste it here in the chat. Anybody with that link can get into Discord. So Feel free to share it. It is not exclusive. It's free. If you want to follow the trades that I'm doing, go in the trading room. I'm constantly posting screenshots when I can. Obviously, you can see when I was traveling, I was just posting like screenshots of my phone and whenever I closed a position. But outside of that, I try to post as much as I can and keep you guys up to date. Again, not advising, just telling you what I do. Take it or leave it. Mold it to who you are and what you like. All right, question on your zones from Derek. I understand support, floor, resistance, ceiling. I know earlier you mentioned odd and even bars. How does odd and even determine your zones? Okay, so this goes back to the analogy with construction, since that's like my theme. Here, let's just take this white area here because it's less. Actually, let me find one that doesn't have all these orders in it. And go back to where there's some less cluttered space. Come on. All right. So this is the first wick is creating. I'm going to take this little area right here. This first wick is creating the ceiling. That's where the ceiling started. But then the next candle was like a sledgehammer. I mean, or sledgehammer or jackhammer, right? That's why I keep using that expression, jackhammer. This obliterated that ceiling, right? And we see this in action. We just saw it, in fact, with the, what was it, the Euro Aussie. Remember when Jason was saying it slashed through your zone and then I deleted the zone? Oh my gosh, this thing is so laggy right now. Okay, so right here where this wick was, remember there was a zone there, but look what price did. And this is, I keep comparing it to like a jackhammer. It obliterated that ceiling. It's no longer there. Now this candle isn't done yet. This candle could come back down all the way to here, and then that would be just a wick, right? The point is whether that's a wick or a wall, whether it's a ceiling or a wall, that zone is not valid anymore. It's over. It's already been jackhammered through. So price, it already went through that area, so it's no longer a ceiling. It's no longer resistance. It's gone. So that's why the second wick means it's basically neutral now. Think of it that way, maybe. It's now neutralized. It was created and then it was neutralized. So that's why you're looking for odd, because every even wick is destroying the zone, destroying the ceiling or the floor. And then that last odd wick is recreating it. It's proving that there is a resistance there again, or support there again. Does that make sense? Does that help clarify it? So you start, okay, Jason here, you drawing your zones with the monthly, weekly, daily, and 3 hour. I actually start with 12 months. And we saw, I think, a couple of charts tonight where there actually was 12-month red zones in the chart. Doesn't happen often because, I mean, 12-month candle, there's quite a range there. You don't hit those very often. But they do show up once in a while, and I want to know where they are. So you don't have to update those very often because how often do you encounter them, you know? So when I first open up a chart for the first time, I'm drawing those 12-month zones. So I start there. I work my way down to the monthly. I do weekly. I kind of think I'm going to stop doing daily, actually. I think I've talked myself into I don't really need that until I'm in the trade because I don't really care. It's not affecting where I set my buy and sell order. So actually, I don't think I'm going to do daily anymore. You see how this is like a work in progress? I'm going to save myself some time and just start doing 12-month, monthly, and weekly. And then beyond that, I'm going to wait until I'm in the trade. Now, once I'm in the trade, you can see in this Euro Aussie, there's colors everywhere. Once I'm in it, I want the dailies, I want the 3 hours, and I want the 30 minutes. I don't usually go lower than 30 minutes. You can do 5 minutes if you want to get that intricate with it. But for me, 30 minutes, the lowest I usually go. So, and I have specific colors, like I showed you guys, specific colors. I have red for 12 months, blue for monthly, which is this blue right here, this darker blue. For weekly, it's brown, these brown zones right here. Daily is orange. Let's see, daily, and then what's the next one? 3 hour is pink. And then the turquoise is the 30 minute. And then if I do a 5 minute zone, which is rare, it's green. So just so you know, when you're looking at a chart, those are my colors. And then I try to remember to put a green border around it if it's a floor, a red border around it if it's a ceiling. So if you're looking at my chart, that's my colors. That's what you're looking at. So, okay, Jason says, okay, so 12 month, monthly, 3 hour, 30 minute, and weekly and daily. But like I said, before I'm in the trade, I'm only going to do 12 month, 1 month, and weekly. Once I'm in the trade, then I'll go all the way down to 30 minutes. But you only have to do like, basically, here's your ceiling, right? You don't need to go up here and draw 3 hour and 30 minute zones up here, right? That's going to be irrelevant by the time price gets up there, right? You can see I have, 3 ceilings here that are pink. That's as far as up as I went. I basically went up back to this area where I know there's going to be a lot of resistance. Beyond that, I don't care. It's going to be obsolete. So, yeah. But like I said, this is a work in progress. So I have just tonight decided I am no longer going to draw daily zones until I'm in the trade. And that's going to save me some time because every day I've been going in and trying to update those. And then I'm like, why am I doing this? It really is not determining anything. I'm not basing my decisions of where to get in on daily zones. So I don't know why I did that to begin with. So there you go. Save some time. Does anybody have anything else? I hope this was helpful to you guys. I've been trying to get a recording, and I I really feel like I screwed up this one whenever I didn't have the right screen up. Like, I'm kind of embarrassed to share this with people. So I feel like maybe I should do it again. But you guys are probably so sick of seeing my spreadsheet and, everything that I do at the beginning that I've now done over and over trying to get a good recording. But hopefully it was helpful to you, because tonight I did change it up a little bit by showing my husband's spreadsheet. So I know a lot of people, they've told me I don't have that much money to work with. So hopefully that was encouraging to you to see you don't need a lot of capital. You don't have to be a millionaire. I know there's that adage, it takes money to make money, but remember, it's all about percentages, and compound interest is your friend. Like, look at this. If my husband can continue doing what he's doing, outperforming me here at the end of the year, and it's even better on today's sheet because he did so well today, $190,000 in 1 year from $1,000, just doing 2%, and he doesn't even wake up early to get that. That's kind of annoying. Anyway, I showed that to you guys, so hopefully that's encouraging to you. Does anyone have anything else? Any comments, questions, concerns? I will be up at 4 a.m. Central Time, so if anyone wants to get up with me, I will be on here. Of course, if my husband beats me again tomorrow, I'm going to seriously start questioning that. So we'll see. We'll see how he does. So, all right, guys. It is now almost 11 o'clock, and I'm sorry for making this so long, but hopefully you got something out of it. If you didn't, please don't send me angry emails. I don't care if you throw it out. I don't care. It works for me. I understand you guys that are, you're the security guys, right? You're the guys that are going to pick security every time. That's fine. No, nothing wrong with that. But I'm a risk taker. I always will be. So it is what it is. So, all right. Thank you guys. Y'all have an awesome night. Happy trading. Get in Discord if you're not there already. It's free. There's no risk to it. And I'll see you guys early in the morning, hopefully. All right, good night.